Hey viewers, so I'm back again with another video, and this time we are going to learn AWS and Azure. So these are the two major players in market on cloud. So we'll see what are the different services provided by AWS and compare it with Azure. So let's begin. So I'll do this video in two parts. I don't want the video to be too long. So let's record the first part and learn the things. Now, in cloud, both Azure and AWS provide compute services. So what are the name of computing service provided by AWS? It's EC2, batch, auto scaling. Similarly, in Azure, we have virtual machines, batch, virtual machine scale sets. So if we'll compare that one by one, then EC2 can be compared with virtual machines. So these are the virtual servers which allows users to deploy, manage and maintain OS and server softwares. Instance type provides combination of CPU, RAM. Users pay for what they use with the flexibility to change size. So you can pay for what size you select. Then the next service which comes in computing is batch. It helps to run large-scale parallel and high-performance computing application efficiently in the cloud. Auto scaling. Auto scaling allows you to automatically change the number of VM instances. You set defined metrics and thresholds that determine if the platform add or remove instances. So you don't need to manage. It is automatically managed if you will take the service. Then we have parallel clusters, which helps to create, manage, operate and optimize HPC and big compute cluster of any scale. Now, VMware on cloud on AWS and Azure VMware solutions. So these services seamlessly move VMware-based workload from your data centers to Azure and integrate your VMware environment with Azure. Same can be done with AWS as well. Keep managing your existing environments with the same VMware tool that you already know while you modernize your application with Azure native services. Azure VMware solution is Microsoft service verified by VMware that runs on Azure infrastructure. Now, in serverless, AWS provides Lambda and Azure provides functions. So these are the two serverless computing that is provided by AWS and Azure cloud provider. So what is the description? It integrates system and run backend process in response to events or schedule without provisioning or managing servers. So you don't need to provision or manage any servers. You just write your code and deploy on Lambda or functions, and server management, provisioning, everything will be taken care of. Now you can write the code in Java, C++, C#, Python, Node.js in case of AWS Lambda. A container and container orchestrator. So in this section, AWS service provides ECS, Fargate, Elastic Container Registry, EKS, which is Elastic Kubernetes Service, and App Mesh. In Azure, it provides container instance, container registry, Kubernetes services, and service fabric mesh. So let's compare one by one. Elastic Container Service or Fargate. Azure, in comparison to Azure Container Instance is the fastest and the simplest way to run a container in Azure without having to provision any virtual machines or adopt a higher level orchestration service. Elastic Container Registry or Container Registry, if we'll compare, so it allows customer to store Docker formatted images. It is used to create all type of container deployments on Azure. Now if we'll compare the EKS and AKS, deploy orchestrated containerized applications with Kubernetes, simplify monitoring and cluster management through auto upgrades and a built-in operation console. Now, what is the difference between app mesh and service fabric mesh? These things are fully managed services that enable developers to deploy microservices application without managing virtual machines, storage, or networking. You can read more about these services, what we are talking here in detail. This is a very short intro kind of video that we are doing. We'll go into detail in the future videos. Now, if we'll compare the database service provided by AWS and Azure, so AWS provides for relational database RDS. Similarly, Azure provides SQL databases. In NoSQL, AWS provides DynamoDB, SimpleDB. Azure provides Cosmos DB. In caching, AWS provides Elastic Cache and Azure provides Cache for Redis. Database migration services provided by both Azure and AWS. So relational databases, if we'll use either RDS or SQL database, these are fully managed relational database service provided by the cloud providers, which helps you to scale and maintain very easily. Now, NoSQL document flavor, as we know, it's a global distributed multi-model database set that natively supports multiple database models such as key value pair, document-based, graph-based, and columnar. In case of caching, an in-memory based distributed caching service that provides a high-performance store typically used to offload non-transactional work from a database. Database migration service is also provided both AWS and Azure. Migration of database schema and data from one database format to a specific database technology in the cloud. So it helps to migrate the data. Now, both AWS and Azure provides services for AI and machine learning. So in AWS, we have some names, popular names such as SageMaker, Alexa Skill Kit, Lex, Poly, and Transcribe. Similarly, in Azure, we have machine learning, bot framework, speech services, and language understanding. So, if we'll compare SageMaker with machine learning, it is a cloud service to train, deploy, automate, and manage machine learning models. So both kinds of provide the same thing but with different library sets. And the next thing is Alexa and bot framework. So which helps to build and connect intelligent bots that interact with your users using SMS, text, and multiple different communication models. In case of Lex and speech service comparison, these are the API capable of converting speech to text, understanding intent, and converting text back to speech for natural responsiveness. It allows your application to understand user commands contextually. Poly, transcribe, and speech service. These things enable both speech to text and text into speech capabilities. Similarly, we have recognition and cognitive services, which helps to extract information from images to categorize and process visual data, which is computer vision. Then face detect, identify and analyze faces in photos, and emotions, which recognizes emotions in images. Like these are the different things that we typically do with AI and machine learning. So both the cloud service provider provides different services which we can use for doing applications related to AI and machine learning. Now, what are the data warehouses thing that services which is provided? So Redshift and lake formation in case of AWS, and Azure provides Synapse Analytics and data share. So Redshift and Synapse Analysis is a cloud-based enterprise data warehouse that uses massively parallel processing to quickly run complex queries across petabytes of data. Not only gigabytes, it's petabytes. So you can see the huge number that can be processed easily. Now, lake formation and data share, these are the simple and safe services for sharing big data. So almost all the in almost all the types of services, both the AWS and Azure are very competitive, and they provide almost same features. But if we go into more detail, then you will find some little bit differences, which helps you to decide whether I should go for AWS or Azure. AWS, as we know, has larger market share compared to AWS. AWS has larger market share compared to Azure. Now, big data processing. What are the services provided by AWS and Azure? So AWS provides EMR and Azure provides different data such as Databricks, Azure Data Explorer, and data lake storage. So if we go to the descriptions, it is fully managed, low latency distributed big data analytics platform to run complex queries across petabytes of data. Now, what is data? In case of data orchestrator and ETL services, AWS provides data pipelines, glue, and in Azure, it provides, we name it Data Factory, Data Catalog. So these things are used for processing and moving data between different compute and storage services as well as on-premise data sources at specific intervals. It helps you to create, schedule, orchestrate, and manage data pipelines. Now, Glue and Data Catalog, if we wanted to understand, so these are the fully managed services that serves as a system of registration and system of discovery for enterprise data sources. And DynamoDB and table storage, these are the NoSQL flavors. So the NoSQL key value storage for rapid development using massive semi-structured dataset. For analytics and visualization, AWS and Azure both provide different services such as, in case of AWS service, Kinesis Analytics, QuickSight, Cloud Search, and Athena. In case of Azure, it is Stream Analytics, Azure Data Explorer, Data Lake Store, Power BI, Cognitive Search, and Data Lake Analytics. So in analytics services, which help us to storage and analysis perform that create insight from larger quantities of data or data that originates from many sources. QuickSight and Power BI. These are the business intelligence tool that provides visualization, perform ad hoc analysis, and develop business insight from data. Now, Cloud Search and Cognitive Search helps to deliver fully text search and related search analytics and capabilities. Athena and Data Lake Analytics provides a serverless interactive query service that uses standard SQL for analyzing database. Athena, as we know, in a case of AWS, used to query S3 bucket. They used to query from S3 buckets. Now, for web applications, AWS has services such as Elastic Beanstalk, API Gateway, CloudFront, Global Accelerator, and Lightsail. Azure provides app service, API management, content delivery network, front door, cross-regional load balancer, and app services. So Elastic Beanstalk and app services, these are the managed hosting platform providing easy-to-use services for deploying and scaling web applications and services. API Gateway or API management, it's a turnkey solution for publishing APIs to external and internal consumers. So these are the things that is used in microservices as well. Now, CloudFront and Content Delivery Network. It is a global content delivery network that delivers audio, video applications, images, and other static files. Global Accelerator and Front Door, if we want to understand, so these are the easily join your distributed microservice architecture into a single global application using HTTP load balancing and path-based routing rules. It's automate turning up new regions and scale out with API-driven global action and independent fault tolerant to your backend microservice in Azure or anywhere. Now, Global Accelerator and cross-regional load balancer helps to distribute and load balance traffic across multiple regions by a single static global analytics public IP address. Now, Lightsail and app services, these services help us to build, deploy, and scale web apps on a fully managed platform. For storage, AWS provides S3, Elastic Block Storage, Elastic File System, similarly S3 Glacier, and Azure provides blob storage, managed disk, files, storage pool tier, storage archive, access tier, and backup. Object storage service for which is used for case including cloud application, content distribution, backup, archiving, disaster recovery, and big data analytics. EBS and managed disk. This helps to store SSD storage optimized for IO intensive and read-write operations for use as such as high performance Azure Virtual Machine Storage. Similarly, we have Elastic File System, which is compared with files in case of Azure. It provides a simple interface to create and configure file system quickly and share common files. It can be used with traditional protocols that access files over a network. Similarly, we have S3 infrequent access and storage cool tier. So this helps to reduce the cost. So it is a lower cost tier for storing data that is infrequent access and long lived. Now S3 Glacier or storage archive access, it is used for low cost storage. So if we don't have much frequent read from the data, we can archive those. For backup and recovery files and folders from the cloud and provide offsite protection against the data loss. The service name is same in case of Azure and AWS. For storage bulk data transfer, we have import export service in AWS and import export same service in Azure as well. It is a data transport solution that uses secure disk and application to transfer larger amount of data, also offers data protection during transit. Import export Snowball, Edge and Snow Mobile. And in case of Azure, we have data box. So if we have huge amount of data that we need to transfer, such as in petabytes, they used to scale data and transfer data from your on-premise to the cloud. For in case of storage, we have hybrid storage type as well. In AWS, we have storage gateway and Azure have store simple. In AWS, we have data sync and Azure, we have file sync. It integrates, so storage gateway and store simple integrates on-premise IT environments with cloud storage, automates data management and storage, plus supports disaster recovery. Data sync and file sync, if we'll compare, so file sync is the Azure file where Azure files can be deployed in two main ways: by directly mounting the serverless Azure file share or by caching Azure file share on-premise using Azure file sync. So that's the end of the first part of this video where we test the different services provided by AWS and Azure, and we have just given an intro of the services. So for detail, uh, keep watching our videos, and for the part 2 just wait, and if you like the videos, do subscribe the channel. So keep watching Software Circle. Thank you.